Yesterday, I was talking how our thoughts can keep us trapped as a victim, especially when we ruminate. Ruminate is when you put your thought of trauma on spin cycle and you just go over and over and over, and you lie on your couch or you're in bed with the covers up in the fetal position, and you're just in that endless loop of revisiting the trauma. And I told you how in the book The Power of Now, it talks about policing your thoughts and becoming aware when your mind starts to do that, and snapping yourself out of that and back into the present moment, and not staying in the past where your trauma is. What you can also use that method of policing your thoughts for is when you're being triggered for anger or guilt or shame, which go along with trauma usually. And I would find myself in jail and in prison when I was locked up. I would see miscarriages of justice among inmate to inmate and guard to inmate. And I would just be sitting there in my mind, fuming, getting pissed off, thinking about pummeling that inmate or pummeling that guard. And I would find my teeth gritted and my fists are clenched. And when I became aware of policing my thoughts, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Snap yourself out of that. And so it became a technique not only for snapping myself out of that rumination spin cycle, but also when I'm going down the rabbit hole of anger or guilt or shame. So, number one is to become aware of your thoughts and police your thoughts. And this is making you more mindful. We want to retrain your learned behaviors. You've been a victim for years. You've been traumatized. You're in that spin cycle. Your thoughts are controlling you. And we want to make a new you. So one is to become mindful of your thoughts. Two, I read a book called Strength in the Storm. And in there they were big on when you've been traumatized and you're reacting to it, is to take a brisk walk and repeat a mantra. And just repeating that mantra over and over and over, it has a calming effect on you. I would be, whether I was out at rec or just on the tier in the day room, I would be in my mind repeating my mantra over and over and over. I'm sitting at a table with guys and there's insanity all around, and in my mind I'm just repeating my mantra over and over and over and calming myself down. So get a mantra and calm yourself down. So that's number two. Number three is exercise. A lot of videos I post are of me working out, of me doing burpees, and it's not just to like show off or to have a shirtless workout video. It's because exercise is one of the key ingredients of taking your life in a new direction and of healing. And it's a great outlet for your anger and your guilt and your shame. It's probably the number one self-discipline tool. When you can get self-mastery and get yourself to work out every day, especially on those days when you don't feel it, which are pretty much most days. Let's be honest. Who looks forward to doing 200 burpees and then lifting weights? But exercise, it has many different meanings for me. It's my therapy tool. On top of therapy, it's my therapy tool. And it's so number one, police your thoughts and police the feelings when you start getting anger and shame and guilt, and notice where it's coming from, why it's coming from. Is it coming from that traumatic event? Bring yourself back to the present moment. You're not stuck in that event any longer. Number two, get a mantra and repeat your mantra. And whether you're taking a brisk walk or you're just sitting and you're starting to get triggered, start repeating your mantra. Number 3, exercise, exercise, exercise. You have to get daily exercise. Number 4, I just got done doing, right before I made this video, it's every morning I do this. I do a deep breathing exercise. It's by a guy named Wim Hof, W-I-M-H-O-F. If you search him on YouTube, it's Wim Hof breathing. And he's got a beginner's and then an advanced. And it's 10 minutes. 10 minutes. If you don't have 10 minutes of your day to change your life, we got a problem. You have to devote time to change your life. We're trying to recalibrate your brain, recalibrate your heart, recalibrate your insides and the way you've reacted and thought your whole life. And you have to devote some time to that. So search out Wim Hof breathing on YouTube. Do a 10-minute exercise every day. You can do it multiple times throughout the day. And it's 3 rounds of breath work. And then at the end of the first round, you hold your breath. And then you do the breath work, hold your breath. So it's 3 rounds of breath work and holding your breath. And it leaves you so calm and relaxed and also invigorated. You're oxygenating your blood. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself. So if you have anger, guilt, shame, and you're in that ruminating, I just had, when I made that video, I had people say I ruminated for decades. Well, me too, but especially when I got locked up, I was stuck in that spin cycle of going back to my trauma of being raped, going back to murdering my abuser, or projecting forward to a life sentence in prison. Staying right in the present moment, which is all we ever have, that was very difficult for me until I read that book, The Power of Now, and he talked about, Eckhart Tolle talked about how to get out of that trap of spin cycle and policing your thoughts. So let's start with those tools and let's create a new you. I just don't want to see people suffer any longer. I suffered for so long, and I'm trying to get you to change before you get to the bottom like I did. I had to completely destroy my life before I was ready to change, and I wish I had taken steps earlier. So that's why I'm making videos, to get you all to take steps earlier. All right? Peace.